to Let's Talk About It Media 21, where we talk hot topics, trending topics, what's going on in the media. We're going to talk Trump. We're going to get into a little bit of hot topics, trending topics in regards to the Kardashians getting rid of Meghan Markle and Princess Harry's picture. There could be two reasons for that, but we're going to get into that. Were they invited? Possibly. Or are they trying to help them with media to start up some drama and conflict? Who knows what it is? But you would post them, then delete them. So there's that. The Kardashians are still trying to that party, but we're going to get into some Trump news, and that's where we're going to start. So like the video as you guys come in. Thanks for being here. I'm going to go ahead and get into my disclaimer. It takes people a few minutes to get into the building anyway. Make sure as you describe, you turn on your notifications so that way when I'm live, you can come on into the room and get this good hot topics and trending topics. So let me go ahead and get in here. Thanks for being here and thanks for supporting the channel. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Like the video as you guys come in. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Thanks for being here and thanks for supporting. Okay, so let me go ahead. Let's see. Come on in through room. Just finalizing things on my side. Please like the video as you guys come in. Let me pin that. Okay. Get into some Trump news. What's going on in the media? The government shut down. Will everything be reopened like it should? What this affects? Okay. So just give me a few.
Away from the midterm. So let's start.
Give me a few seconds. Okay, we're gonna get straight into the clips.
As House Republicans have been off the clock, but that ends tomorrow. We are just 356 days away from the midterm. So let's start with a very important question. How much work have you done over the last 8 weeks or so? Because that is almost as long as House Republicans have been off the clock, but that ends tomorrow. That is when the House is expected to vote on the Senate-approved deal to end the shutdown. The Rules Committee met to discuss it tonight. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries is pushing all Democrats to vote no. If that happens, Republicans could only afford 2 no votes. Today, President Donald Trump praised Majority Leader John Thune and House Speaker Mike Johnson, who has kept his chamber in recess for almost 2 months.
And we're also honored to be joined by a great man. He will go down as a great man someday, Speaker Mike Johnson. And congratulations to you, and to John, and to everybody on a very big victory. We're opening up our country. Should have never been closed. Should have never been closed.
Almost 2 months. Makes you wonder if they're going to have any flight delays trying to get back to D.C. That, of course, was a speech
Right.
at Arlington National Cemetery in honor of today, Veterans Day. The moderate
Exactly. Well, some of them have flight delays trying to get back to DC. I thought about that. And that's why they gave them a certain amount of time to get back to DC.
Democrats who broke ranks and cut the deal are proud that they secured a Senate vote on ACA subsidies. There's only one problem. Speaker Johnson has not made any such promise for a House vote. Meanwhile, some Senate Republicans have ideas much different than just extending subsidies for the ACA, like new health savings accounts, but they haven't given any details what will be in them. And even while Congress inches closer towards ending the shutdown, this air travel chaos that I just mentioned, it's only getting worse. The FAA will increase its flight reductions on Thursday and Friday. Well, today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy talked about the air traffic controllers at the center of it all, and the president's talk of penalizing those who took sick time during the shutdown. Watch this.
Which is crazy.
My concern is for those air traffic controllers who, before they missed a paycheck and were in the shutdown, they decided on a continual basis not to show up for work. They don't know how long the shutdown was going to be. They hadn't missed a pay period, and they didn't come to work. I'm concerned about those controllers. I'm concerned about their dedication. I'm concerned about their patriotism.
I'm concerned about members of Congress and their patriotism. 8 weeks is a long time. All right, let's get smarter with the help of our leadoff panel this evening. Jeffrey Mason joins us, White House correspondent for Reuters. Leanne Caldwell, chief Washington correspondent for Puck. And Sam Stein, managing editor for The Bulwark and an MSNBC political contributor. Leanne, walk us through what's going to happen tomorrow. Are you expecting any surprises with this vote? And I said it kind of tongue-in-cheek, but is there a chance that members of Congress, because of the flight delays, aren't going to be there for the vote? Yeah, I mean, it's always a chance, even on normal weeks, that they don't get into town because of flights. But Speaker Mike Johnson warned them on Monday to start trying to make their way back to Washington with the anticipation that the vote would happen on Wednesday. And it will happen on Wednesday. The House is expected to vote and expected to pass this bill, but it's up to Speaker Johnson to round up the support of enough Republicans, which he'll need every Republican except for perhaps two, depending on attendance, in order to support this. You know, Speaker Johnson has been out of the conversation for nearly 8 weeks. He's left the House out of the conversation. And there's a lot of House Republicans who are frustrated with some components of this bill. But ultimately, are they going to make the decision to be blamed for extending the government shutdown after Speaker Johnson blamed Democrats for, the past 50-some days? And so, despite all the hand-wringing and the protests that some Republicans are going to make, Donald Trump is going to have to get on the phone, if necessary, to make sure this bill makes it over the finish line tomorrow. Democrats, on the other hand, they are mostly united in their opposition. There could be one or two defections, but Democrats weren't part of this deal. They are saying that it's up to Johnson to pass it. He has the votes if he needs them, and we'll see where it lands, Steph. Jeff, we heard what the president said today about ending the shutdown, but it was less than 2 weeks ago. He was very happy with the government being shut down, and when and if it reopens, that Epstein Files vote is coming right around the corner. Is there any chance Trump doesn't sign off on this thing?
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey, Alicia Little here, and I'm excited to announce that the third.
Like the video. There's about 109 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button, and thanks for tuning in. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
I don't think so. I think the president sees this as having been a victory for him. And
Let
for
me go back a little bit.
He's been trying to put blame on Democrats.
Being shut down, and when and if it reopens, that Epstein Files vote is coming right around the corner. Is there any chance Trump doesn't sign off on this thing?
I don't think so. I think the president sees this as having been a victory for him and for Republicans. He's been trying to put blame on Democrats this entire time for the shutdown, despite the fact that polling shows that more Americans put blame on Republicans than Democrats, although the polling also shows that that voters blame both sides. So, no, I don't think he's eager to have the Epstein news be back in the headlines, but I do think we'll see this as a victory once he puts his pen to paper on the final piece of legislation that reopens the government.
Sam, as always, have saved the sassy one for you. On one hand, the Trump administration seems to be targeting some air traffic controllers who have not been getting paid. But meanwhile, I just said it, House Republicans are coming back to Washington after 8 weeks while they have been getting paid. How does that look to the American people?
Well, first off, it seems like Jeff wants the sassy one, just for future reference, okay? He chimed in there.
Jeff Mason is many, many things. I don't consider him to be sassy. You, on the other hand, super sassy.
All right, I'll let you and Jeff settle that off. As for the point you're making, it has been.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you hear what he's saying about suing them, because he's stating that his speech got changed. So I'm gonna let y'all hear what he's saying about it. Like the video.
And suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. Why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it, and their top echelon.
Director General and the CEO
This
both
is
resigned.
within one of our great allies. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical. And they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. Well, I think I have an obligation to do it, because you can't allow people to do that.
Are you going ahead and suing the BBC?
Well, I guess I have to. Why not? Because they defrauded the public, and they've admitted it, and their top echelon.
Director General and the CEO
This
both
is
resigned.
within one of our great allies. They actually changed my January 6th speech, which was a beautiful speech, which was a very calming speech, and they made it sound radical. And they actually changed it. What they did was rather incredible. They're showing me the results later on, the results of what they did, how they butchered it up. Well, I think I have an obligation to do it, because you can't allow people to do that.
Are you going ahead and suing the...
Okay, so let's continue with the news. There's about 176 in the building. Let's get the likes up, everyone. Please double tap that screen and hit the thumbs up. YouTube makes it so easy. Either you could double tap the screen, or you could just backspace and hit the like button. Hit the thumbs up video. Let's go. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue with the news.
Big embarrassment for House Republicans that they've not been in session for basically 2 months. Speaker Johnson says they're doing God's work back in their district, talking to voters, ostensibly selling the big, beautiful bill that they passed months earlier. But really, they've just been doing very little work. And
correct. Protect your children. We do have a lot of weirdos out there. You got to talk to your children about going into restrooms, because people are going into restrooms. Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you something. I see stuff too. So recently I went to a mall, okay? And there's men's bathrooms, there's women's bathrooms. And guess what? Then there's family bathrooms. I saw somebody that that should not have been going into the family bathrooms was going into the family bathrooms. That was weird. That was weird. That was weird. You should not be trying to go near where children are going to be with their families. And luckily it is families, but you shouldn't be going in there. You should not be going in there. You should have went that way. I don't normally cover that, but I side-eyed that. And he saw me side-eyed him. You shouldn't have been going to the family part of it. And luckily where they were at, they had to scan a code to get in. So wherever he works, they know he going into that side. Now, if you go into the regular men's, women, you don't have to scan nothing. But if you go back there, you got to scan to go back there. So that was very interesting. Very, very interesting. And remember the story in regards to the woman saying that there was a male, she was getting undressed and he had his whole pants down? That should not be happening where we're at. I don't care where you're at. I don't care where, because children don't need to see that. Young adults don't need to see that. And you have to know, parents take their children sometimes to work out with them if they're a certain age. You understand what I mean? That person could have had a young 15, 16-year-old child with him, and this man got his pants down. That should not be happening. That should not be happening. I'm sorry, it should not be happening. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yes, protect your children. Be careful. Do not let them go to the bathroom by themselves, even if they're 14, 15. Because I just saw a story too, that a local craft store, a man was trying to take a picture of a young girl, and luckily they got him on camera. You have to be careful with your children. Even if they're 14, 15, it doesn't matter, especially if they're younger than 14, 15. You have to go with them. Stand by the door so that way that person knows. And you literally should go into the bathroom, check the stalls before they even go in, and then definitely stand outside the door. Real talk. Parents have to be more vigilant because there are some weird people out there. Weird. Let me continue with the news.
Honestly, coming back 2 months later to do this vote, it does take away a little bit of the argument that Donald Trump and now Sean Duffy are making that, well, all these federal workers really were disappointed in them because they didn't give it their all during the shutdown. The other thing that's been an embarrassment a little bit to the administration is that some of their own officials, and this is not related, but some of their own officials have not been actively at work during the shutdown either. There's a huge story out tonight from the Wall Street Journal, for instance, about FBI Director Kash Patel, who has been taking private, he has to take his government jet, but he's been taking that government jet to do ostensibly private business, going to a ranch, seeing his girlfriend during the shutdown. Internally, this has caused a lot of consternation among Trump advisors because of the message that it sends, which is very similar to the idea that House Republicans are off not doing work while everyone else is suffering the consequences.
The message it sends and the expense to the American taxpayer. Leanne, here's one I didn't see coming. Some Senate Republicans are trying to bring abortion restrictions into these healthcare conversations. Can you explain what's going on?
Yeah, Steph, actually that's been an issue since the shutdown started and Democrats brought up the ACA and wanted to extend these tax subsidies, and abortion has been a key sticking point. The reason is because they want to make sure that it's called the Hyde Amendment. It comes up in every single healthcare discussion, essentially, between Republicans and Democrats, and a big reason why the two parties can't agree on healthcare policy when the government is involved. Republicans want to ensure that these taxpayer subsidies, no money is used to pay for abortion. Democrats won't agree to that. And so it is going to be a major sticking point. Not that I'm really optimistic that Republicans and Democrats will come to any sort of agreement on healthcare anyway. They haven't been able to for decades and decades and decades. But this Hyde Amendment, this abortion issue is absolutely real. It's been a conversation that's been going on for weeks, and it's going to make things even.
Let's continue with the news. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue with the news. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 3, you're new, where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. Let's continue.
Continues his politically losing ways by saying something
that could get that disapproval number up, something that no president in history has ever said. 2/3 of Americans are fools.
Good morning. Good morning.
Donald Trump put that in writing. Donald Trump said in writing, people that are against tariffs are fools. 65% of Americans are fools, according to Donald Trump. 65%. 65% of Americans oppose the Trump tariffs, and Donald Trump's response to that is to call them fools with an exclamation point. 65% of the country knows that Donald Trump's tariffs are causing inflation, causing them higher costs that they're facing. 65% know that the Trump tariffs are economically hurting them. And Donald Trump calls them fools and then says he wants to send them all a check for $2,000 to compensate for the economic harm that his tariffs have caused.
So do you think you'll get the $2,000 check? Let me know in the comments. Press 1 if you think you're going to get a $2,000 check. Press 2 if you think you will not.
Those people. The Wall Street Journal editorial board responded to that idea saying, quote, if tariffs are a free economic lunch and their benefits abound, why offer a rebate? Donald Trump is the most inconsistent, incoherent, ignorant federal elected official in history on the subject of tariffs. And because he spreads so much madness and chaos every day, the Washington news media is incapable of what would be their standard reaction to a politician saying that 65% of Americans are fools. There would be outrage. Imagine, once again, if Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton had ever said 65% of Americans are fools, imagine the number of articles that would pour forth out of the Washington news media about how elitist and out of touch that Democrat is for saying 65% of the American people are fools. Donald Trump can say it, and the Washington news media doesn't even notice it because his madness has understandably worn them down. They have lowered their standards for Donald Trump. Later in this hour, we will hear from President Obama's chair of the Council of Economic Advisors, Jason Furman, on Donald Trump's idea about paying $2,000 to 225 million people he calls fools. Also, later in the hour, we'll hear from an expert on how to refund tariffs. If the Supreme Court properly rules that Donald Trump's tariffs are illegal and unconstitutional, then those illegally collected tariffs will have to be refunded. And Donald Trump is lying about such a refund now, claiming that it would involve trillions of dollars being refunded from the Treasury. That is a complete lie. Only $195 billion has been collected in Trump tariffs, and all of that could easily be refunded. The IRS refunds that much every year in overpaid income taxes. Our guest joining us later in the hour will show you exactly how tariffs are paid and exactly how they can be refunded. And it's just as easy as the refund that the Treasury sends to millions and millions of income taxpayers every year. That expert will show you an actual receipt for tariffs paid, $98,000 in tariffs paid, which includes all the information that the Treasury needs to refund that tariff money to the American payer of the Trump tariff. But we begin tonight with your feelings. There was much disappointment about the way the end of the shutdown was brokered in the United States Senate by 5 Democratic senators who appeared to change their position.
If you did get the $2,000 check, can't confirm or deny if it's going to go out. If you did get the $2,000 check, what would you use it for? Housing, rent, groceries? Let me know in the comments.
At the end of 7 weeks of shutdown. By the time I presented that news last night, there had been an outpouring of outrage on social media all day about Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer failing to control every Democratic vote in the Senate, something no Democratic leader of the Senate has ever been able to consistently do. The late-night comedians had their usual fun at Chuck Schumer's expense. Some of them clearly think that they would be better at the job of Democratic leader of the United States Senate because obviously it's easy in their view. When I explained what I think is the reality of Senate leadership here last night, based on my experience working in the Senate, I wasn't so much concerned with the feelings of the disappointment than I was with the reality of the situation and getting that reality as clear as possible here. But our first guest tonight is much better at addressing feelings than I am, as he showed in this video posted yesterday. I know that.
Be kind in the comments. We're not doing that. We're not doing that one. Be kind in the comments. We do respectful stuff over here.
A lot of people are feeling some pretty strong feelings today, feelings of frustration, even betrayal. I have somewhat the advantage.
And if you are on some substances, get some help. No money should be spent on substances. Get some help.
Of
take care of
from
yourself.
Being in the Senate, being a couple of days ahead of everybody, seeing that this was going to happen. So I've had a bit more time to process it than people who discovered it yesterday. And while I think everybody is entitled to their feelings on this, and I don't want to derogate those in any way, we need to remember the battle that we're in. And every ounce of energy that we put into fighting with each other, fighting with other Democrats, is energy that is lost to the fight to defend our country from Trump and MAGA. Whatever your feelings are, I validate them. Great, feel that way. But we've got a battle on our hands. And it's a battle whose real game day is November a year from now, when we have the chance to throw Speaker Johnson out of the Speaker's office and put the Senate under Democratic control and put real obstacles in the way of Trump.
Congratulations on being sober. A friend of mine has been sober for 11 months. So congratulations on being sober.
Corruption and misconduct.
I get dermaplaned every single week, and the lady at
Like the video, fair use reaction clip. Let's get the likes up, you guys. 102 in the building and 9 likes. As you guys are commenting, please hit the like button. Double tap that screen to get the likes up. Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's get the likes up. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Yeah, a lot of my friends be trying to waste money on spending on beer and cigarettes, and then they always asking people for money. So if you are sober, alcohol-free, substance-free, congratulations. You know how to save money.
Twitter last night should be the new Senate Democratic leader. I'll ask Senator what.
It took me to tell a friend how much they're literally spending a week at a store. It took me to tell them, you're spending XYZ at a store, and you're often asking people for money. If you stop spending that kind of money at a store, you're basically paying the rent. They didn't like when I said that. You're basically paying the rent to that location. Spend your money wisely. Do what you do. Many people are grown, but they was like, how would you figure? I said, because you told me what you're spending in 2 days. You told me what you're spending in a week. Times that by 4. That's what you're giving them every week. Times that by a year and a half. I showed them what they were spending at that store for a full year. They were like shocked. They were like shocked. It's like, why would that not add up to you? So spend your money wisely. A lot of us are grown in here, but be wise. Now is the time to make sure you have 3 to 6 months savings, because there's so much going on. 3 to 6 months savings, if you can, for stuff like this. Federal workers weren't being paid. They probably would have never expected that. They worked for the government and they weren't paid. Like the video as y'all come in.
As if he thinks Chuck Schumer should be replaced as leader and if he wants that job. It's worth noting that no Democratic member of the Senate has said their leader should be replaced. And we now have reporting indicating that the small group of Democratic senators who reached a compromise with Republicans started working on that compromise on the first night of the government shutdown 7 weeks ago. Politico reports Senators Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire and Angus King of Maine began talking with Republicans the first.
Yeah, if you can do 8 to 11 months of savings, that's a blessing. Where you don't touch it, that's a blessing. For household issues, for car repairs, for something that you can get into. Sometimes if you try and go into your 401k, they try and act like you can't take your money out. So just try and have 3 to 6 months. And then if you do your 3 to 6 months, and this is the biggest thing, I talked to a friend and they had said, okay, if you touch that money, say for instance, you touch $500, in 2 months, you got to put that $500 back. And if you can't, then you got to stack up and save. Don't touch that money for the 6 to 8 months. If you can, and see how you do regarding that. See how you do regarding that. Someone taught me that and it helped me.
Night of the shutdown by Shaheen's account. So with a small group of Democrats working with Republicans from the first night of the shutdown, Chuck Schumer was able to convince those Democrats not to make a deal until after last week's election. Donald Trump himself blamed the shutdown for the Republicans' wipeout in last week's election. And if that's true, does Chuck Schumer deserve some credit for pushing the shutdown through last week's election so it could have that impact on the election? The final Democratic vote that sealed the deal came from Tim Kaine of Virginia, who was Hillary Clinton's vice presidential running mate.
Good morning.
There appears to be a belief out there that the minority leader of the Senate can simply tell Tim Kaine what to do. Tim Kaine said that his number one issue in the shutdown was always protecting federal government workers. And he achieved some protection for government workers, many of whom live in his state of Virginia, in his negotiations with Republicans. Political Reports' Tim Kaine privately laid out weeks ago what he needed in return for his vote to end the government shutdown, a moratorium on mischief. He meant no more firing of federal workers. So there's the final vote that sealed the deal, that got them to 60. The final vote sealed the deal, negotiating with Republicans for weeks. Negotiating with Republicans weeks before last week's election. And through it all, Chuck Schumer tried to hold on to those Democrats. Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who told members involved in the talks about 2 weeks ago he could not support the deal they were sketching out, continued privately urging them to hold out even as they moved to concede this week.
That's funny that you heard that. Like the video, y'all come in. Like the video, y'all come in.
If you're turning 65 or beyond, you're going to want to watch it.
That's funny that you heard that my tablet's dying. Y'all are hilarious. Like the video. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. Let's continue.
Every Democratic senator had exactly the same chance to talk Tim Kaine out of it. Every single one of them. Every Democratic senator had a chance to try to change John Fetterman's mind. But John Fetterman and 2 other Democrats voted with the Republicans even before any compromise was struck. There were 3 Democrats siding with the Republicans basically from the start on this shutdown. And so the shift to a compromise was done by only 5 Democrats. And that then added up to a total of 8 Democrats who were willing to vote for the compromise that brought that total to the necessary 60 votes. The minority party has never won a major concession in a government shutdown. It's never happened. That's one of the facts that moved those 5 senators toward compromise. Every Democratic senator with the most hurt feelings about this had exactly the same chance to talk Tim Kaine out of it. Every single one of them. Every Democratic senator had a chance to try to change John Fetterman's mind, but John Fetterman and 2 other Democrats voted with the Republicans even before any compromise was struck. There were 3 Democrats siding with the Republicans basically from the start on this shutdown, and so the shift to a compromise was done by only 5 Democrats, and that then added up to a total of 8 Democrats who were willing to vote for the compromise that brought that total to the necessary 60 votes. The minority party has never won a major concession in a government shutdown. It's never happened. That's one of the facts that moved those 5 senators toward compromise. Most of the people with the most hurt feelings about this believe that they know.
Thank you for the floating hearts. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Appreciate it.
For a fact, what was going to happen next in the government shutdown. They have mistaken their guesses for facts. There are never answers for what happens next in a government shutdown, only guesses. And in the past, the reason shutdowns ended is that both sides were rational. Donald Trump is not rational. Donald Trump is not running for re-election. Donald Trump doesn't care about anything. Donald Trump doesn't care about starving people. Donald Trump doesn't care about health insurance premiums. Donald Trump doesn't care about government itself. That makes him a unique negotiating partner in American political history. He has no political future to care about, and he doesn't care about the future of his political party. The 5 Democrats who made the compromise made the guess that they were never going to get the big thing they were asking for. So they asked for and got something smaller. Only in the age of Trump, with a news media that lost perspective a long time ago, could this outcome be reported as a loss for the Democrats, meaning all Democrats, instead of a strategic choice by 5 Democrats who changed their position in exchange for 271 Republicans, including the president, changing their positions and agreeing to increased funding for supplemental nutrition assistance, for agreeing to protect government workers, to not allow Donald Trump to fire them, not allow any of the layoffs that Donald Trump has executed during the shutdown to hold. All of those people will be rehired because of what Tim Kaine negotiated. They will all get back pay.
Thank goodness.
There was nothing unusual in what those 5 Democrats did. There is no reason to presume that they were trying to sabotage anyone. Everything that they've publicly said about it indicates that those 5 Democrats were trying to do the right thing in an unprecedented situation, a situation that no one in the Senate has ever faced before. And the choice that they made was a guess, just like the rest of the Democrats, who guessed that the best thing was to keep the shutdown going, to try for the first time in history to legislate from the minority in a shutdown. A small minority of Americans pay Obamacare premiums. 6% of Americans pay Obamacare premiums. The Democrats were holding out in the shutdown, fighting for those 6% of Americans who desperately need help to pay for health insurance. They are the kind of people that the Democratic Party and the Democratic Party alone cares about and has cared about since Franklin Delano Roosevelt made concern about the people who need help from the government the soul of the Democratic Party in 1933. And it has been ever since. That small group of people, 6% of the country, was successfully leveraged by the Democrats during the shutdown to show Trump Republican cruelty, to vividly show it in a way that anyone could understand it. Without the attention of the shutdown, 94% of the country would have no idea that those premiums were going up. The shutdown made the Republican position hugely unpopular, and my guess is it didn't just pay off in the last election. My guess is it will pay off in the next election. But that is just a guess, like everything else in this situation. I've seen many legislative losses in Congress, and the smart losers never blame themselves. They don't really admit they lost because they don't admit that it's over. They just say that they're going to keep fighting. They treat it like the 3rd inning of a 9-inning game, which is what it is. It is exactly what it is. We're in the 3rd inning in a 9-inning game. The 6th inning is a year from now in November, and the 9th inning is the next presidential election. And you can start attacking people on your own team in the 3rd inning if you're that kind of player. Here's a guess.
Like the video, like the video. There's about 120 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button and make sure you turn on your notifications. Let's continue to get the likes up. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Player. Here's a guess, and it's just a guess. Maybe with Thanksgiving flights canceled, and the holiday ruined for millions more people than the 6% who pay Obamacare premiums, a large majority of the country might turn against the small group of Obamacare beneficiaries who they would then see as ruining their Thanksgiving for the majority if the shutdown had continued through the holidays. Now, that's just a guess. That's just...
Could you imagine sons and daughters trying to fly to be near their parents? Husbands trying to be by their wives as they're trying to have births? People trying to be by a sick person for the holiday? Could you imagine people not going to Thanksgiving this year and their parents are struggling with health concerns? Baby, this is some nasty work they're doing. Like the videos y'all come in. Like the videos you come in. They're stating more people are planning to drive, take buses and trains. Like the videos you come in. But then I just saw a video of a lady fell asleep while she was driving, operating the train. Be careful, y'all. Be careful as y'all travel. Make sure your rent, your bills are paid. Make sure if you have to take a different type of transportation coming home, make sure you got the money to get back and forth. Like the videos you guys come in. And a friend of mine just went on a trip. So I'm hoping they were able to get to their destination safe, and I'm hoping they were able to get home. I am not going to listen to them complaining, though. They knew what was going on with these airports, so I hope they got home safely. I do.
possible scenario. That's all it is. It's just a guess. I'm not suggesting it. It's not something I believe. I'm just as an example.
And they always say too, make sure you get some type of insurance for your flight, some type of insurance. So if you got to cancel it, you can just go in January, February, like the videos y'all come in.
It's just a guess. But no senator could tell you that that absolutely would not happen. Maybe it would. Maybe most of the 94% who don't pay Obamacare premiums would resent the disruption of their holidays. Or maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they would be generous about it. Maybe they would be thankful on Thanksgiving that they personally didn't have to pay higher Obamacare premiums and want to help those other people. Maybe they would want senators to keep fighting for that 6% of the country. Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. Everyone's guess is as good as everyone else's guess. That's in the nature of guessing. So many of the people who were crushed by those 5 Democrats seem to think the future is a fact, not a guess. They seem to think that when they look into the future, when they see the Thanksgiving holidays and the government shutdown, they can see facts and not just guesses. But the future is not a fact. The future is a guess, especially in politics. Sometimes the old saying, your guess is as good as mine, is where we end up. And you can think that one Democratic senator's guess about what would happen in the future is better than another Democratic senator's guess about what would happen in the future.
Good morning, good morning.
But don't pretend that it was something more than a guess.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Like the videos y'all come in. Support the channel by liking and subscribing. There's about 146 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the subscribe button and thank you.
My daughter receives $2,500.
Please hit the subscribe button and thank you.
By and large, are furious at Donald Trump over his failure to tackle their number one issue, the rising cost of everything. Watch what happens when reality comes to bite Donald Trump in a you-know-what during an interview on Fox News of all places. Watch.
I've been all over the affordability issue today and for the last several months. Eggs, gas, a dinner cost for Thanksgiving way down. But other things, as you noted, have gone up. Beef, coffee, auto repairs. Is this a voter perception issue of the economy, or is there more that needs to be done by Republicans on Capitol Hill, or done in terms of policy?
More than anything else, it's a con job by the Democrats.
Laura Ingram knows a lot of things, but even Laura Ingram knew the answer to the question she asked. And Trump could shush her all he wants. He did. But rising prices isn't a con job cooked up by Democrats, and Laura Ingram knows that. The price of beef is up 14.2%. The price of coffee is up 15.3%. CNN reports this, quote, prices increased from January to September in 5 of the 6 overarching groups of grocery prices tracked by the federal government's Consumer Price Index. Donald Trump has never, ever had a grasp of any of the facts, but particularly those around the cost of things for normal people, or even the realities of the way normal.
What have you noticed that you get a lot that's gone up? You know those little coffee things that you put in your coffee? Those have gone up from $1 to like $1.69. Let me know in the comments what you get a lot that's gone up. Yes, coffee has went up. I was shocked.
Americans live. Here's what happened when Laura Ingram brought up some of the pushback to an idea floated by Donald Trump recently. It's the idea of a 50-year fixed mortgage.
A significant MAGA backlash, calling it a giveaway to the banks and simply prolonging the time it would take for Americans to own a home outright. Is that really a good idea?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, you know, you go from 40 to 50 years, and whatever it is you pay.
No, tell me you've never applied for a mortgage without telling me you've never applied for a mortgage. His inability to even get the 30-year fix thing as the answer right, you go from 40 to 50, is a real slip of the mask. And it reflects this yawning gap now that everybody knows about, even his base, between Donald Trump and every other living American. And it's becoming more and more of a liability by the day. On the same day that food assistance was set to expire for more than 40 million Americans, Donald Trump posted these pictures, basically of his like DIY reno. Look what I did.
I renovated the bathroom in the Lincoln bedroom. It's now covered in statuary marble instead of its historic design. Hours after that, he held an actual Great Gatsby themed party. This is not some smear that the Democrats put on his party. It was actually called A Little Party Never Killed Nobody and had a Great Gatsby theme. That happened as 1.4 million federal workers went without a paycheck. And while that was happening, Donald Trump continued bulldozing and trying to build his giant gilded ballroom constructed on top of a now demolished East Wing, a priceless part of America's collective history. That record is to say nothing of the actual gilding of the Oval Office and other rooms at the White House with gold at a time when 77% of all Americans, regardless of who they voted for, say they're stressed out about their finances and their economic insecurity. Donald Trump and his crew of uber wealthy cabinet officials and billionaire tech bros keep telling us and showing us that they couldn't give a rat's behind that the American people are screaming at the top of their lungs about their economic anxiety. They make clear over and over and over again that they don't care. This is a president who posts images of himself wearing a gold crown. He's done it multiple times. These are not things made up by his political detractors. These are images he concocts or grabs onto and then posts himself. He likes them and wants us to see him in a crown, surrounded by gold, renovating bathrooms in the White House after he demolishes the East Wing to build a massive ballroom for himself and says out loud, this is our, quote, top priority. And his Treasury Secretary, wow, this is what a $600 million Treasury Secretary gets you politically.
So do you believe the idea that voters are saying affordability is a problem for me is a con job?
I believe, even this morning, you had two people come on and say, well, I look at the price at the pump and I know costs are up. Well, gasoline's down. So that is a con job. And I think that's what's frustrating.
So you don't believe that all the people who went to vote last Tuesday on the issue of affordability, my rent's too high, I can't afford to buy a house, groceries are too expensive. Do you think they're just misperceiving what's happening in their lives?
I think that that we inherited an affordability crisis.
Does anyone think Scott Bessent has ever pumped gas? Wildly out of touch, Donald Trump and cabinet trying and failing to gaslight the American people on the cost of living. When it comes to his failure after 10 months in addressing the rising cost of living is where we start today. New York Times political reporter Nick Corsonati is back. Also joining us, MSNBC political analyst, host of the Bulwark podcast, Tim Miller is back, and president of Media Matters, Angelo Carasone is back as well. Tim Miller, I'm going to start with you. I worked for the Bush family. One of the most iconic sort of images or instances of a president who sort of lost touch of the price of things and the modern way that people lived was George H.W. Bush with the grocery scanner. For my time in politics and now as the person who does all the grocery shopping in my house, I always know how much a gallon of milk is, eggs, bread. Most politicians have people around them that make sure they know how much a gallon of milk, a dozen eggs, a loaf of bread, meat, steak, those things cost. Clearly, Donald Trump doesn't know how much any of those things cost. I'm sure he's never been inside a grocery store unless he wanted to knock it down and stick.
And they should have gave him a list of what it was last year, and they should have gave him a list of what it costs this year. Meat is up, milk, chocolate, coffee. So many things are up. Gas may be down, but these groceries prices are out of control.
Something tacky there, but no one around him has told him that these things matter to literally everybody else in the country. What do you make of what we're seeing of his inner circle first?
You know it's a huge change when a dollar store goes from $1.25 to it goes from $1.25. Now they're almost up to $1.50. You know it's something when the dollar stores are going up on their prices.
Yeah, I think they're in a bad place. That's a wonderful intro. I just have two minor nits that I need to
Please edit away.
Answer your question. Is that okay? I'm pretty sure George H.W. Bush got a raw deal on the grocery scanner thing. It's been a while since I watched that, but I'm going to Google it. Number two, the Great Gatsby party. There were two parties. Do you know, after the Great Gatsby party, they did a truffle and opera party.
Oh, there was an after party?
I think it was the next day or later the next week or something. I looked at the menu for the truffle and opera party. They had a truffle dapanois on the menu. I don't know what that is. Maybe some of the viewers who are fancier than me do. But so it's just many. They're doing many fancy parties down there while this is happening. And look, who he's hanging out with down there is well represented by Scott Bessent in that video. Getting back to your question about his inner circle, right? And his inner circle right now is mostly extremely rich people who, at least in some of the cases with Howard Lutnick and Steve Witkoff and others, have family members who are in on the Trump family grift. So you have extremely rich people that are in on the grift and the corruption as part of the inner circle, and then you have like wild-eyed ideologues, like Stephen Miller, and that's it. That's who's there. Like that's who he's got around him now. And so I don't think it's that surprising that this stuff isn't breaking through to him. Obviously, he has always been out of touch, but there was something to be said for, kind of the rally stuff that he was doing in a while. Like he had this kind of call and response, like ongoing focus group with people that, sort of helped, drive his little lizard instinct towards what, the types of people that showed up to those rallies at least cared about. He's not getting any of that feedback down. And he's at Mar-a-Lago with cougars on the pool deck, and he's got billionaires in his cabinet. Like, that's who he's talking to. And it's not surprising that he does that interview with Laura Ingraham, and he doesn't just say the obvious thing that politicians say in this moment, which is, we're trying to deal with this. Obviously we understand people are suffering. Like, we have a bunch of plans. Here's our plan, A, B, and C. They don't have any plans. Like, it's not just that they're out of touch. They're out of touch with people's affordability issues, and they don't have any proposals to deal with it. Like, they're not.
There's about 200 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button and please turn on your notifications. Please hit the subscribe button and please turn on your notification. Also, let's get the likes up. Double tap the screen to get the likes up, and thank you. If you already hit subscribe, thank you. If you already hit like, thank you. Let's get the likes up. 116 now and 26 likes. The likes should match the views. Let's continue.
Like, they're not even trying to deal with it. And I think that is, the main political issue that he faces over the next year.
Why are you not
like the video? Like the video. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. Let's continue. Fair use. 158 in the building. Please hit subscribe and thank you. Let's continue.
I'm just going to underline something you just said. What was it? Cougars on the pool deck and billionaires in the cabinet. I feel like that's like an album title or a Netflix series or a book title or something I want to see more of.
Show me the lie.
I love it. Let me ask you, Angela, you introduced this theory, this concept I've been obsessed with since you said it, this idea of narrative dominance. And the only thing that was going to knock him off of that was always going to be a reality more compelling or more with more magnetic pull, right, than the dominant narrative, or a politician. It seems that the latter hasn't really emerged, but the first may have. How do you see this moment?
Yeah, I think, he certainly lost narrative dominance. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but a couple metrics. So one, we shouldn't discount the fact that this moment is happening after months of the Epstein stuff. And why that matters is that it was really for the first time his own supporters, the people that had been percolating and simmering and pickled in the narrative that he'd been telling, started to think for a second, well, maybe this guy's not going to be straight with us all the time. And even if they didn't flip on him, it at least created some space where they'd be willing to entertain the possibility that, that maybe their eyes and their experiences weren't lying to them and were more honest than what Trump was telling them was the case. So then you sort of fast forward to where we are now, and one of the metrics for it, the other metric is the vibes. And the vibes in the right-wing media are not good right now. They're just not. There isn't a cohesive, coherent story. You see all these random sort of like grab bags and buffets of nonsensical ideas and proposals or reasons why things feel the way they do. Even Steve Bannon, who tends to have the most cogent, coherent argument for Trumpism and what's happening, he's saying Trump has been nothing but focus on affordability. He's the guy who's focused on it all the time. Gives no examples of that except to say the most important thing he can do right now is deport more people in high-skilled jobs to help give some people in their late 20s and 30s with college debt jobs here. That's the best that they've come up with, and now this 50-year mortgage thing. So, the vibes there aren't great, and then you sort of then look at what's projecting on the future, and you have a guy that's pointing out, even when Laura Ingraham was throwing him a bone, all the gold that's on his wall, all the parties that Tim was referring to before, and that's the other piece of this narrative. One of the stories that Trump has always told these people is that just because I'm a billionaire that has my plane and my name on buildings, I'm just like you.
Like the video, like the video. There's about 197 in the building. Please hit subscribe. Please hit subscribe and turn on your notification. Let's hear about this Epstein stuff. Let's get to it.
Shutdown deal. It is that Speaker Mike Johnson is forced to undissolve the House of Representatives after 7 straight weeks of recess. And with the House back, Speaker Johnson must swear in Arizona Democratic Congresswoman-elect Adelita Grijalvo tomorrow. She says she will provide the 218 signature on a discharge petition to force a vote on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files, something Johnson has been pretty desperately trying to avoid throughout the shutdown. This all comes as we learn from a whistleblower that the only person involved in Epstein's crimes to ever be convicted of engaging with those crimes is Ghislaine Maxwell, now plans to ask Trump for a commutation after receiving weeks of, quote, concierge-style treatment in prison. Congressman Ro Khanna is a Democrat of California. He and Republican member Thomas Massie filed the discharge petition in September. Congressman Khanna joins me now. Congressman, I guess, one of the things I learned during the course of this is that a discharge petition, people can take their names off it before it hits 218, but once it hits 218, it is locked. And I wondered how much jockeying was happening behind the scenes. Is it your expectation that tomorrow Congresswoman Gurhal?
That's crazy work that Maxwell was transferred to. Maxwell was transferred. She's getting all these perks. That's crazy work that she was transferred to a lesser. Ugh, I'm not even gonna go there. Like the videos, y'all go and come in. That's taking a lot of people off. I saw a video in regards to certain privileges she's asking for. Other inmates are not getting that same kind of privilege. It's crazy work that they relocated her. And a lot of people aren't even talking about that. Like the videos, y'all come in.
Will get signed in and it gets to 218.
Yes, but it's not done until it's done. And there's a tremendous amount of White House pressure on a couple of the people, in particular, the Republicans who signed the petition. My expectation is it holds.
Very disgusting. And when that all happened, when he got put in jail, she got put in jail, there should have been way more people that joined them. Same with this Diddy case. Just Diddy, some of his handlers and people that assisted in helping him didn't go to jail too. What's wrong with people? What's wrong with putting the people that assisted and helped him, put them in jail too? These Epstein files should have been released when he went to jail. Real talk. Why are they protecting these weirdos that do what they do in this country? Why was he and her the only ones that went to jail? Several people should have went to jail. You think they didn't have the phone logs? You think they didn't have the travel logs? Those people should have went to jail. You think he didn't have cameras? Why are these weirdos being protected? Like the video, like the video.
And then we have a vote 7 days later. December 3rd is when we're targeting for a vote of the full release of the Epstein files.
How central do you think your efforts to force that vote were in the response of Mike Johnson taking this truly unprecedented step of essentially keeping Congress out for 2 months?
Unfortunately, it was the cause of it. I mean, it pains me because people are going without food stamps, people are going without pay. All of that could have been resolved if he had just had Congress in session, because we would have been paying the troops. We would have been extending SNAP. And here's the dispositive fact, Chris. If it wasn't because of Epstein, he could have still shut down Congress and just sworn in Adelina Grijalva. The fact that he didn't swear her in is the reason that he shut this thing down.
I want to ask you about some of this reporting we've seen about Ghislaine Maxwell. And I have to say, read a lot of news stories every day. My blood pressure stays pretty regulated because there's a lot of bad stuff happening. But the reporting about Maxwell made me pretty personally angry. I mean, this is the original sin of the Jeffrey Epstein saga, is that he was caught preying on girls and was cut a sweetheart deal that allowed him to keep doing it. The only person now who has been brought to account for those crimes, Ghislaine Maxwell, was taken out of the prison she was in after she gave an interview to the president's personal lawyer.
Listen to this. Listen to what's happened. Like the videos, you guys come in.
A waiver had to be signed by the Department of Prison to put her in a minimum security prison, and this is what's happening there. Maxwell has received customized meals personally delivered to her cell, after hours time in a private exercise area, and access to a service puppy. Maxwell was also afforded private meetings with visitors arranged by the warden, complete with snacks. This is Jamie Raskin, your colleague, writing a letter about this to Trump. The deference and servility of Ms. Maxwell have reached such preposterous levels that one of the top officials of the facility has complained he is sick of having to be Maxwell's bitch. What do you make of this report?
Well, it doesn't just get your blood boiling, Chris. You know whose blood it got boiling is the survivors, because I was with them in a press conference in front of the Capitol, and I'll be with them with Thomas Massie in front of the Capitol again next week. And we were saying, look, let's talk about the Epstein file release. Let's talk about all the rich and powerful men who were involved in this abuse. And they would keep bringing up this Maxwell pardon, because they said Maxwell was involved in their abuse. And it was an affront to them that someone who sexually abused them was going to get special treatment.
Which is so crazy. So crazy that she's getting special privileges right now. Things are so twisted right now.
Pardon from the president. Anyone who talks to these survivors will be outraged that this is even being considered.
How hard is this White House going to fight this? If in fact, 24 hours from now, that discharge petition is signed, how much pressure is going to be brought to bear on that House on the vote?
There's going to be tremendous pressure, and that is because I believe 50 to 60 Republicans could break, and that would be the first day of Donald Trump being a lame drug. Look, this is about our politics. Are we going to be for the forgotten class of Americans or for the Epstein class? And
Be kind in the comments. I don't know who this person is talking to, but see, y'all got to be careful who y'all talk to in the comments. Because if it's towards me, not going to happen. If it's towards somebody in my comments, you got to be kind over here. Be respectful in the comments. YouTube will time you out too and block you.
Trump suddenly is going to be part of the swamp protecting the Epstein class, and he's going to have a chunk of the MAGA base with every Democrat saying, we're for working class Americans, forgotten Americans. That's why they are so fearful of this vote.
I want to ask you about something you said, I think, earlier today about the end of the shutdown deal. I just interviewed the House Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries. I think you said that you think Senator Schumer should be replaced or resign as Senate Democratic leader. Why?
He was unable to protect health care. I mean, we did nothing as premiums are going to skyrocket Americans. Look, this is why I ran for Congress, for national health care, Medicare for all. That's what we need to do with a broken system. But at the very least, we can make sure that we have some tax credit extension, show that people's premiums don't spike from $44 a month to $2,600 a month. That is what's going on with real people that I've talked to. It's outrageous.
Do you think there's any hope for the next iteration of this fight? I asked this of Congressman Jeffries. Like, I don't think it quite sunk into me because the shutdown was going on so long. The CR is going to go through January. I mean, that's going to be here like pretty soon.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's going to go on then?
Good morning.
Well, I do think that that's another opportunity to make this fight, and that's why I've said let's have some fresh blood and new leadership. Look, Chris, I want a permanent extension of the affordable tax credits, but we could have had at least a one-year extension. Representative Michael Lawler, a Republican, has floated that. Kevin Kiley, a Republican, has floated that. We could have had negotiations on eligibility. I don't think there should be negotiations about eligibility, but I would have been willing to compromise. What I'm not willing to do is say we get nothing. And the 20 million people get shafted. And then they have all these pundits saying, well, we made healthcare an issue. Really? That's why we're in politics, to make it a talking point? How about actual relief for people whose premiums are going to go up?
Congressman Ro Khanna, thank you so much for your time.
So the premiums going up, groceries are going up, gas is down, but that's going to be crazy work if people's premiums are going to go up. People need that health care. They don't need those high premiums too. And nobody should have to choose from medicine from health care. Paying their rent from health care, putting gas in their car to get to work, paying high health care costs.
Back to the Congress. After their 7-week taxpayer-funded vacation, these people have been missing in action, absent without official leave, running scared, but they can no longer hide.
Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries yesterday on Capitol Hill. It comes as Speaker Mike Johnson today is expected to gavel in the first full session.
There's about 230 in the building. Please hit the subscribe button. We're trying to meet a certain quota, and we're trying to hit 50K by next month. Please hit the subscribe button. Thanks for being here. Thanks if you already hit subscribe. Thank you if you already hit like. Let's continue fair use reaction clip. Let me know how you feel about these healthcare prices going up, the groceries going up. Let me know.
The House since September 19th. Wow. He's also expected to swear in a Democrat from Arizona who won her special election days after Johnson shut down the House. We'll go through all of that and what it means. Plus, we'll play for you President Trump's comments on H-1B visas, which have angered some of his MAGA base. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It's Wednesday, November 12th. Along with Willie, Joe, and me, we have the co-host of our fourth hour, staff writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire. Politics reporter for Semaphore, Dave Weigel is here. Writer at large for The New York Times, Elizabeth Buemiller joins us. And, of course, the host of Way Too Early, MSNBC senior Capitol Hill reporter, Ali Vitale. So maybe the end is near. Joe, to the shutdown.
It could be, Willie, and of course, how fascinating that they haven't worked since middle of September. They're coming back, and they're coming back and finally swearing in a congresswoman that should have been sworn in months ago.
Yeah, Congresswoman Grijalva was elected on September 23rd, so 7 weeks and change, I think that is.
September 23rd.
We'll talk about what her vote means to many votes in the House, including on the release of the Epstein files. So she will be sworn in, we think, later today, finally, at long last. Speaker Johnson had said as soon as the government is shut down, we will give her her seat. She will be sworn in. And now, after 8 weeks, Congress, the House, back in session, Republicans have been back home in their districts, and Democrats in the last 24 hours or so, characterizing that as an 8-week paid vacation for them, while Americans were not getting paid and we're not receiving things like SNAP benefits.
Yeah, of course, members of Congress getting paid to not work. People in the federal government were actually working and not getting paid. Must be nice job if you can get it. So this morning, if you look at the leads of the New York Times and the Washington Post, what it shows is something that I actually found was one of my favorite sayings. It's proving one of my favorite sayings that came out of my time in Washington, D.C. Paul Simon, who, not the singer, but the senator from Illinois, when he was leaving Washington, someone asked, well, what have you learned in Washington? What's the one big takeaway? And Senator Simon said, well, in politics, sometimes when you win, you lose. Sometimes when you lose, you win. Well, this morning, the New York Times and the Washington Post are explaining how Democrats on the Hill, they're a little slow sometimes, but they catch up. Democrats on the Hill now are finally beginning to realize that they just may have won this government shutdown. And more importantly than that, they may have put themselves in a position to win the larger war on healthcare costs when this battle is rejoined in January. And it will be rejoined in January. And by the time we have another government shutdown, if Republicans don't understand just how bad the affordability crisis is, because the president certainly doesn't, but if they don't understand that, well, there will be another government shutdown. And when there is, Americans will be focused laser-like on healthcare costs because their premiums will have already gone up. And because the Democrats did something right during this government shutdown. They focused Americans on the issue of healthcare costs. It's really kind of remarkable if you think about it. Here you have the Democratic Party trying to help Americans. And in the process, they actually would have helped Donald Trump and the Republicans on the affordability issue. But the Republicans kept brushing them away. They kept the most potent issue in Democrats' hands by pushing away and not going along with them to help middle-class Americans with rising healthcare costs. You know, it would be kind of like if somebody came into 30 Rock. Let's say there was a rat infestation problem. And they went to the people who ran 30 Rock and said, hey, we can take care of your rat problem. But people that ran 30 Rock said, no, we like rats. Rats are our friends. In fact, some of our greatest memories of 30 Rock involved rats. Well, what would you say? All right. Live with the rats. Should be calling me later. Well, that's the same thing that's going to happen. Well, not the same thing, but you get my gist. That's going to happen in January because Willie, and yes, I am going to drag you into this, whether you like it or not. Willie, the fact of the matter is that you do have Republicans that are strapped with an affordability crisis. Members of Congress understand this affordability crisis. They understand that healthcare premiums are about to skyrocket. They understand they have a president that's going on national television saying, oh, we don't have an affordability crisis. And they're going to be set up for failure in January, where Democrats have framed this issue perfectly over the past few months. So maybe, yes, maybe some late night comedians are going around and they're owning the Democrats for being the surrender caucus. But as Paul Simon said, sometimes when you win, you lose, and when you lose, you win. The New York Times and the Washington Post suggesting that maybe more Democrats who were upset a couple of days ago are understanding this is actually unfolding in a way that will benefit them and, more importantly, middle-class and working-class Americans in January.
Paul Simon, 30 Rock rats, they really had it all there, Joe, and brought it up. I didn't see anything scurry along the floor like we did yesterday, so I think we're safe today on the rat front. For now, for the moment. But yeah, I think the concern from many Democrats is that Republicans said, those moderate Democrats who did vote with Republicans, vote with us now and we'll give you the vote on Obamacare subsidies later in the year. I think other Democrats don't trust that. They say maybe they'll give us the vote, but they're not going to vote for it. We're not going to get the subsidies. But I take your larger point, which is taking the long view that the issue of healthcare and those costs, and more broadly, affordability, are winning ones for Democrats. And Jonathan, we had yesterday the Treasury Secretary, Scott Bessent, sitting right here and asking him if he thought that the president's comments that the affordability issue was a hoax or a con job and all the things he's been calling it were accurate, just to see if that was a one-off. And he seemed to suggest that, yes, Americans don't understand that the tariffs will benefit them eventually, that these costs at the moment, they might be high, but they're going to come down. Not saying, I didn't expect him to cross the president sitting here with us, but the point is, there does seem to be a dismissal from this administration of the fact, not the perception, not the media's narrative, that it's too expensive to live in America.
Yeah, any Trump cabinet official goes on television with the job number one is to perform for the president. And that's certainly what we heard from the Treasury Secretary yesterday. He wasn't going to contradict what Trump said. But there does seem to be a growing sense that the White House is out of touch with how Americans feel. This is a president, I mean, any president lives in a bubble. This one in particular, very insular, very right-wing echo chamber. He hasn't done really any domestic travel
where he would meet not just voters, but even like local officials who might tell him, like, sir, maybe with tears in their eyes, sir, that like prices are too high. My voters here are having a hard time. There has been some private, as I've reported, some private discussions in the White House. They recognize that they kind of dropped the ball on affordability. They recognize that was their signature issue in 2024, and they haven't done anything on it. But instead, we're getting these in-your-face images of ballrooms, the East Wing being torn down, ballrooms being built, Great Gatsby parties. The list goes on and on. And it does tax breaks for the rich, of course. And it does seem the Democrats have a good issue here that was successful at the elections last week. They stumbled. The inter-party fighting here about the shutdown is not helpful for that narrative, Joe. But Donald Trump and President Trump seems to be unwilling to, because he's so unwilling to ever admit a mistake. He's unwilling to acknowledge, publicly anyway, that they have had a problem here. And that puts him really out of touch with his vote. Look, his hardcore base will be with him no matter what. They're thrilled that half the White House is gone. But those voters who swing back and forth right now, polls suggest, election results suggest, they're disappointed.
Well, and you listen to Laura Ingraham on Fox News during that interview. It suggests that she, too, understands the president. I'm not putting words in her mouth, but on some issues, the president seemed to be out of touch when, she kept the affordability crisis. And he said, there's no affordability crisis, fake news, fake polls, fake this, fake that. There are also some just absolutely fascinating moments in that interview where he's saying there's not really much of a difference between whether we have Chinese students here, French students, right? There's not difference between China and France, is there? She goes, yeah, there is. And then, of course, no such thing as gold paint, as if he had never walked through the lobby of Mar-a-Lago before. We could go on and on and on, but there was a real disconnect, Mika, especially on the affordability issue. You even had Jerry Baker, who's the editor emeritus over at the Wall Street Journal, saying, okay, the Republicans are fumbling this affordability issue, and right now, instead, they're obsessing over whether you platform a white nationalist who admires Adolf Hitler and Joseph Stalin. Maybe this party is disconnected. So again, this is not something that the New York Times editorial page or MSNBC Primetime's talking about. This is something Republicans are talking about. This is something that House members are talking about. This is something that Senate members are talking about. And they are very concerned that they're getting more and more disconnected from the very issue, affordability, to put Donald Trump in the White House. Remember all the snot comments about butter, right? Oh, well, it's actually healthcare now. Correct. And it's the fact that people can't afford homes. And it's a fact, speaking of being out of touch, when Laura Ingraham politely was trying to explain, hey, these 50-year mortgages may not be a good idea. He goes, what's the difference between the 40-year mortgages we have now? And trust me, if there were 40-year mortgages, I would have gotten them a long time ago. Laura Ingraham had to politely say, 30-year mortgages, but there's this disconnect, a growing disconnect. While people are struggling with the affordability crisis, Donald Trump is tearing down half the White House and putting up a Marie Antoinette ballroom. And people, Republicans, conservatives, writers, podcasters, they're the ones that are beginning to express real concerns like, hey, we just got crushed at the ballot box last week. If we continue going like this, 2026 is going to be terrible.
Okay. Let's go ahead and get to some hot topics, trending topics. Welcome to Let's Talk About It Media 21. We're going to get straight into it. We just talked Donald Trump. We just talked what's going on in the world. Let's get to some hot topics. Okay. This is Kylie Kim. As you can see, Kylie looks slightly intoxicated. Kim wants to get into her shot. She wants to talk over talk. They seek media so bad. Kylie looked so out of it. I don't know who grabbing Kylie's chest. I don't know who was doing that, but they seek media so bad. Look at Kim. She wants to get into Kylie's shot so bad. Look at her. My goodness. And then Kim is blaming Kanye for her health situation. She blaming ChatGPT, and now she talk about she went to a psychic. She went to a psychic to get advice. I don't know what's going on with Kylie Timothy, because of course TMZ is going to put it out that Kylie and Timothy are fine. Did he show up at her party, her birthday party? And did he show up at the mother's birthday party? It is what it is. Timothy seems to be very busy. Kylie seems to be going after him, but he don't show up for a lot of her stuff. I don't even know if they show videos that he sent her flowers. I don't know. Maybe he did, but it's interesting. The Kylie Timothy situation. Timothy, you better wrap it up. That's all I got to say. She looks intoxicated. Let's continue. This is Obama. Hold on.
I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service to you and your family. Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service to you, your family. The sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
That's the first time I've seen a president, former or current, greet an honor flight, and that is absolutely amazing. A commander-in-chief, a leader who's going to show up and tell you that your service was worth something. I think that's the important part, so I think it was a great thing to have.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford. How about that? Hello, everybody. What?
So
as we approach Veterans Day,
so that was nice of him to show up to greet them.
Thank you for your extraordinary service to you.
Let's continue. There's definitely a difference. There's definitely a difference. They have Obama out there trying to normalize what's going on in regards to the country and trying to show some love, while the other one is showing his gold rooms, tearing down part of the White House. So he's out there trying to uplift people. Real talk. Whether you agree, like him, not like him, he's out there trying to show a little love and support to the country. Okay, so let's get to this. I'm going to talk about this, but then I'm going to talk about it. Okay, so you know Chris just recently had a birthday party. She did post the pictures of Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Then it's being alleged that Kim and Chris took the pictures down. There could be several things happening. Chris and Kim might have took the pictures down because they were getting more media than them. 1. 2, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry might have asked for the pictures to be taken down. 3, they might have taken it down because they'd rather post other people than them. Understand, Chris and Meghan Markle and Prince Harry have had a lot of ups and downs in regards to the media. But the Kardashians, I told y'all, Kim don't like people over trending her. Kim don't like it. If a person is trending over her and they're getting more clicks on Google, Kim will try and go near them to trend with them. If there's a certain subject that's going on, Kim will try and add herself into that subject to trend with it. So there's a few things that's going on. Now, the other thing that's being talked about, I can't confirm or deny. I'm not a celebrity type person. I don't even really care. People send me messages to come to an event. I'm not going. I don't want to be next to celebrities because they put out a certain narrative. Okay. So this is the other thing. People are talking about whether Prince Harry and Meghan Markle was even invited. This would be, if the Kardashians are working with Prince Harry and Meghan, they may be teaching them about media drama, media issues. Oh, let's put you guys out there. Let me help you with media. Because remember, over the last 2-3 months, the Kardashians were saying Prince Harry and Meghan want to work with them. So this could be a PR stunt, or this could be them not wanting to trend over them. Because you got to realize, too, they were stating that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle was getting backlash for even attending the event. That was yesterday. Prince Harry and Meghan was getting backlash for even attending the event. It's like, why would y'all? And then I don't think I saw any pictures of Beyonce and Tina with Kim. There was pictures of Beyonce and Tina with Chris. But like I told y'all, these celebrities will stick together. Real talk. These celebrities will stick together. So I can't confirm or deny if they were invited, not invited. But let's get to this video.
Harry and Meghan Markle crashed Kris Jenner's big 70th birthday bash.
Can't confirm.
It looks like that may have actually happened.
I can't confirm.
So Kris Jenner and all the Kardashians posted a series of different photos featuring a number of different celebrities like Paris Hilton. A number of different stars were there. The event was hosted by Jeff Bezos and his wife Lauren Sanchez, right? Well, Kris and Kim also posted photos with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. And then shortly after the photos started circulating in the press, it appears that Kim Kardashian and Kris Jenner removed those photos from their Instagram account. While they kept all the other photos with all the other famous friends that they had in attendance, the photos with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were removed by both Kris Jenner and Kim Kardashian, which to me kind of sounds like maybe they weren't supposed to be there. Maybe they crashed the party, and then when Kim and Kris found out afterwards, they were like, whoa, take those pictures down, because why would they both remove photos with Meghan Markle?
Why would they post them then remove them?
Meghan and Harry were earlier at the Baby to Baby Gala to support Serena Williams, and it seems like afterwards they just figured maybe, hey, on the way home, let's stop by Kris Jenner's big 70th birthday bash. And it's crazy too because it doesn't appear that they have any real close ties with the Kardashians, and not even close ties with Jeff Bezos and Lauren Sanchez, who hosted the party for Kris, because Meghan and Harry weren't even at their wedding, which Kris and her daughters were in attendance. So now I have questions. Why did we remove these photos? Were Meghan and Harry invited? Were they party crashers?
I don't know, but the Kardashians love media attention.
Let me know your thoughts.
The Kardashians love media attention, clicks, and views. This party was what? Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, and they're still trying to trend over it. So who knows? But remember, the Kardashians was posting that Meghan wants to work with them. So remember, Kim used to go to the Baby and Baby event, but now she's not going. Here nor there. It's all celebrities will stick together. Celebrities love media attention. And I told you, the Kardashians want to trend. They want to stay relevant. Go back. Kim is trending over wearing a similar dress like Halle Berry. She needs to stop culture appropriating. She will try to utilize Kanye. She will try to utilize different exes. She will try and connect herself to something that trended. So now she's trying to trend with the Halle Berry situation. Go back and look it up. Halle Berry wore a certain dress. Kim copied that dress. Not the same color, but she wanted it to trend that she copied that dress. The Kardashians are desperate for media attention, clicks, and views. 2-3 years ago, Kim, if somebody was trending, Kim would fly to be next to them, by them, or go to an event. It was kind of creepy. So for her to look up the Halle Berry dress, she wanted to trend with Halle. Go back and look at the Halloween costume she put her children in. North was Alicia Keys. One of the children was Sade. Another one was Snoop Dogg. She loves to culture appropriate. Why isn't she not supporting her own culture? She probably will now. They listen to our videos. Why isn't she culture appropriating her own culture? Huh? So nobody from her culture has done anything amazing like African American people? Stop playing with me. The Kardashians love to trend. This is the other creepy thing. Kim likes to trend and copy Kanye's ex's outfits as well. She just got that brand deal. Go back and look at what Bianca was wearing for the last 2 years. Will Kanye speak up that it seems as if his designs were taken and Kim used that brand deal? I can't confirm or deny. Go look at Bianca's outfits. Kim has copied more than 2 or 3 outfits of Bianca. But she talking about her health concerns are from her ex. It's not her work schedule. It's not her business schedule. She's trying to blame Kanye. Stop blaming the black man, girl. Please stop. Please stop. The Kardashians. And think about it. Kourtney is the only Kardashian sister married. Kim has dated how many? Khloe has dated how many? Kendall has dated how many? Kylie has dated how many? Kourtney's the only Kardashian sister married, and they love creating drama around Kourtney. They love it. They love it. But if Kim was married, Kim would want people celebrating her marriage. But they bring drama to Kourtney's. Look at how she treat Kourtney. Look at how she treat North. Look at how they treat Khloe. But Khloe wants to stay around and be around Tristan. People have lost a lot of respect for Khloe. She's made a decision. Tristan cheated how many times? And Khloe decided to have another baby by Tristan. They want to have babies by the men they've had because they don't want to separate. Kim has had her children. Kylie has had her children. Khloe has had her children. They want to have children by the same man. Even though Tristan had did all that stuff, Khloe still intertwining herself with Tristan. They love the drama men. And then the men don't end up being the same way. Look at Kanye West, concerning. Look at Pete Davis, concerning. Look at Scott. Look at Lamar Odom, so concerning. Look at Tristan. Look at Chris Humphries, what he went through. Look at Ray J. He going around not washing himself. Now Ray J's in a whole defamation lawsuit. I can't confirm or deny what Ray J said is true or false, but Ray J was trying to show receipts. We can't confirm or deny if those receipts are even factual. But Ray J, hot mess. So it is what it is. And then the Kardashians love to bring up their exes. So even if they've moved on, the Kardashians love bringing them up. Many people called Kim out because she was putting North in unflattering ways, putting her in outfits that's similar to men, and then dressing her really grown. So many people are calling out Kim and Kanye. And Kanye is no better because Bianca's outfits were see-through. You got her going out in these streets dressing in see-through stuff. Children don't need to see that. So many people say Kim and Kanye pretty much worked really good together because they love media attention and they love the attention of the media. So it is what it is. They need to do better. Let's continue. Okay, let's get to some Diddy information. We're going to be really brief in general. Last week, people were talking about Diddy was allegedly caught with an alcohol substance. I can't confirm or deny if he was caught with alcohol substance. Okay. So then there was reports that Diddy's team came out and said it wasn't true. He wasn't caught with an alcohol substance. Now they're basically saying he's at risk of losing phone privileges. Some are basically trying to say that Diddy asked someone, I'm going to be general because I can't confirm or deny, to bring him cash. So Diddy, they're stating, is actually, he is above and he is moving like he gonna do whatever he want to do. I still can't confirm or deny if he had anything that could ferment and make it seem like it's alcohol. I can't confirm or deny if he's about to lose his phone privileges, because there are people that are out there that will put out false information about Diddy. We try to debunk stuff. We try and put out factual stuff about Diddy. There's a lot going on in regards to this Diddy situation. I might do a separate video in regards to Diddy, but if you did not know, he has to be careful because remember, he was stated to get several months, but some of those months could be knocked down if he does well. But if they're having concerns with him, that 50 months could stand. So he could almost only do, they're saying, a year and a half, 2 years. But if he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, his time could go longer. His time could go longer. Losing his phone privileges. Yeah, might have to do a separate video of Diddy, but they did post his picture. This is him and his mugshot. But there's a lot going on. Like I said, I might have to do a separate video. And he, like I said, he denied that he was taking any type of alcohol. And then his team, somebody has said, well, maybe he didn't know what he was drinking. He got to be careful what he drink and what he take from other people anyway. And then who leaked the pictures of him to the media? But here nor there. That's the update on Diddy. He need to be careful. So this is being reported that Today News, Toyota Motor, they're basically saying they did not, let me see. Is it going to talk about it?
What happened during his visit to Japan? Trump told reporters that Today's News, Toyota Motor Corporation says it never promised Donald Trump a new $10 billion investment in the United States. Here's what happened. During his visit to Japan, Trump told reporters that Toyota had committed to investing $10 billion in new auto plants in America. But shortly after, Toyota officials clarified that no such promise was ever made. A senior Toyota executive, Hiroyuki Ueda, explained that while Toyota continues to invest heavily in the U.S., supporting American jobs and expanding production, there's no official $10 billion plan currently on the table. Ueda said the confusion may have come from older announcements made during Trump's first term, when Toyota had previously discussed major investments of a similar scale. But this time, the company says there was no new agreement, no new figure, and no formal commitment. Toyota emphasized it values its partnership with the U.S. and will keep investing in its factories, workers, and innovation, but wanted to clear up any misunderstanding about a new $10 billion deal. Meanwhile, Trump's comments have drawn attention because they suggested a massive economic win, something Toyota now says was misinterpreted. In short, Toyota's message is clear. No $10 billion promise, just continued support for its American operations. Remember to follow Daily World News 26, like, comment, and share for more.
I'm going to replay that because people are
Today's
just coming
news, Toyota Motor Corporation says it never promised Donald Trump a new $10 billion investment in the United States. Here's what happened. During his visit to Japan, Trump told reporters that Toyota had committed to investing $10 billion in new auto plants in America. But shortly after, Toyota officials clarified that no such promise was ever made. A senior Toyota executive, Hiroyuki Ueda, explained that while Toyota continues to invest heavily in the U.S., supporting American jobs and expanding production, there's no official $10 billion plan currently on the table. Ueda said the confusion may have come from older announcements made during Trump's first term, when Toyota had previously discussed major investments of a similar scale. But this time, the company says there was no new agreement, no new figure, and no formal commitment. Toyota emphasized it values its partnership with the U.S. and will keep investing in its factories, workers, and innovation, but wanted to clear up any misunderstanding about a new $10 billion deal. Meanwhile, Trump's comments have drawn attention because they suggested a massive economic win, something Toyota now says was misinterpreted. In short, Toyota's message is clear. No $10 billion promise, just continued support for its American operations. Remember to follow Daily World News 26, like, comment, and share for more.
And you got to remember, they're at year end. They can't have no false information put out by them. They can't have that. So have y'all realized there's a lot of misinformation out there? I've been straightening it up with y'all. Look at the video from yesterday. This is very interesting that she came out and revealed that she has a hole in her nose from substances. We had just talked about substances. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful. You got to be careful about these substances. Beautiful girl has made some decisions, and now allegedly she's stating that she has a hole in her nose because of that substances. Baby, beautiful girl, but she's made some poor decisions. Well wishes to her. Y'all can read it. I can't say certain words, so y'all can see what she said. Y'all can see what she said. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. And some of these events, some of these parties, don't get caught up. Take your own water bottle. Cover your drink. You got to be careful where you go. You got to be careful who you party with. Look at, oh my goodness, she's showing it. There's that. We right now just doing hot topics, trending topics, y'all. Like the video. I hope everybody has hit subscribe. There's about 134 in the building. Please hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 50K by next month. We're trying to hit 50K. Please hit the subscribe button. A lot of times we'll do world news and hot topics, trending topics regarding the news, and then we'll go to trending topics, and we'll get to Wendy too. Let's go ahead and get to Wendy. Hold on one second. Let's get to Wendy, because right now we got it pulled up. Let's get to Wendy. Hold on one second. Let's get to Wendy.
And today's hot topic, Wendy Williams' health. A source telling ET the talk show host does not have dementia.
Now follow the money. How did that report state she had something 3 or 4 years ago, and now there's a report saying she don't have it? Follow the money. That's some dirty work. For them to put her in a facility for this long of a time, and she doesn't have it, that's some dirty work. That's some dirty work. Let's continue.
According to our source, Wendy's doing just fine. Wendy Williams recently saw a top neurologist who conducted a new round of tests, and she does not have frontotemporal dementia. The results were presented to Wendy and her legal team, and we're told they plan to file court docs to officially get her released from her guardianship.
Now she's lost how much money? She needs to sue everybody, and she needs to get her money back, but she probably won't be able to. Most of her money is gone now. This is some crazy work. If Wendy was married still to that man that cheated, this would have never been able to happen to her, but she wasn't married. Follow the money. Who took her money and who requested this to happen?
You can't make your own decisions. Wendy's attorney tells ET if the judge refuses, they'll pursue a jury trial.
I'm still trying to manage this mess, okay?
The health update comes just over a month after Wendy's only child, 24-year-old Kevin Jr., made rare comments about her guardianship to New York Magazine, slamming it as up and pleading, I am all for getting my mom out of the situation she's in because I love her a lot, and that's the only thing I've ever cared about.
She looked skinny. like she needs a break. You know, I think she looks like she needs a break.
Kevin previously spoke out in the controversial Lifetime docuseries Where is Wendy Williams, exploring the media mogul's life under state supervision since May 2022.
It's not an easy story to watch or to tell, but hopefully, we did it truthfully and with integrity and sensitively so that Wendy's story could be put out there.
After she was diagnosed with dementia, she was assigned a court-appointed guardian and stayed in an assisted living facility, which she calls a luxury prison.
Get off my neck! It's been over 3 years, and you know what I'm saying? It's time for my money and my life to get back to status quo.
Joining Kevin Jr. in his fight to free Wendy, Charlamagne the God, who considers Wendy a mentor.
I want her to be happy. I don't want to see anybody in a situation that they don't want to be in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, anytime you're in a situation you don't want to be in, it's like a prison, right? So if she's not happy in that situation, then yeah, I would love to see her, out.
And Wendy's close pal, Angela White.
They're not treating her right. And if I get in trouble for it, oh well. They're not treating her right in there. And it breaks my heart. But she was in good spirits, though. She was just telling me, like, the place where she was staying at, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. I feel like those type of places need to be investigated. Do you believe that your friend?
And they need to be investigated because they got rid of her apartment as well. They got rid of her apartment. So now she'll have to redo everything. And hopefully she goes near her father, her family, and hopefully they can get her out of this position. And if they can't immediately get her out, she has to seek a jury. Baby, that's some dirty work.
Okay.
But these other celebrities need to be very careful too.
No, it's so tricky. I still don't understand why she's like in the facility.
See?
Yeah, I imagine it's very hard for especially if you have like family and friends. It's all these different questions.
And why didn't they ever want to move her closer to her father? Those records are currently sealed. They're currently sealed. But the attorney she has right now, I think his name is Joe. Joe has been hard at work for the last 6 months. Everybody, Joe, go send some love to Joe. Joe has been hard at work helping Wendy get out of this situation. Joe has not given up. Wendy has had so many celebrity friends that just almost failed her, but this attorney, Joe, has not let up in 6 or 8 months. He's been by Wendy's side. He's been helping her. He's taking her out to dinner. If it wasn't for Joe, Wendy would probably still be in this situation. But Joe was talking to Wendy. TMZ was talking to Wendy. And she sounded normal to them. If anybody knows, anybody that has dementia, the decline hits. And you could tell how a person was 3 years ago and how they are now. They lose cognitive and they become worse. Wendy was getting better and better and better. And she sounded more and more normal. So how could you say she had dementia when she was sounding normal? So what's being alleged is Wendy don't have dementia, and they're going to hopefully seek a jury trial if they can't immediately get her out of this situation. But a lot of her money is now gone. She going to have to sue that guardian. She going to have to sue a lot of people. And she going to have to seek her family to help her until she can get back. It'll never be what it was. Wendy was a millionaire. Dirty work. You got to be careful what happens to you. You got to be careful what happens to you. And you need people that's going to have your back. Thank goodness that lawyer helped Wendy. If she wouldn't have had that, she would have still been in this situation. If people know Joe, go and tell Joe thank you. Because Joe did the doggone thing. People, other celebrities didn't assist, didn't help. They just let her sit there because they thought she had it. And then to come to find out she don't have it, that's some dirty work. That's some dirty work. Let's continue with the news. Let's see, the richest people in the continent. So I don't know. Let me see. Elon. Okay. Some of the people we may or may not know. African. 26 billion. What was he at? 41? Like the video as y'all come in. South America. Could you imagine being that rich, y'all? Could you imagine? Like the video as y'all come in. Like the video as y'all come in. We're just doing hot topics, trending topics. Let's continue. I guess Nicki Minaj made a post. We're not even gonna go there. Like the video. Some stuff I don't even address. So this was from my screenshot in regards to Donald Trump shares fake story that Obama was paid royalties for Obamacare. So I can't confirm or deny that, but this is from my on my on my thumbnail. Like the video, like the video. Kevin Gates has been trending in regards to the woman he's dating. He was trending for dating that one young girl. We're not going to get into Kevin Gates. So these are more pictures in regards to this party. And then many people are saying they're tone deaf. Some people are hungry and they had this lavish party, but celebrities are going to celebrate. They've been by the Kardashians for a long time. These are Khloe's best friends, Malika. I don't know the sister's name, but this is Malika. Yep. Like I said, they're friends with Khloe. Why don't they talk with Khloe to get away from Tristan? And then Khloe wanted to tell people she hasn't been intertwined with a man for 3 or 4 years. Khloe, nobody cares about that. Sorry. People don't care about that, Khloe. She's still hanging out with Tristan. That's what people are like, I'm not watching the show. I'm not going to cover what's going on. I will say there was reports last week the ratings didn't do that well. So the Kardashians the ratings weren't doing well. So then that made people tune into the show. So women, she's utilizing y'all to be in media. I guess they did interviews. They did a lie detector test. She's utilizing them also to trend and go viral. Kim and the Kardashians want to get into more rooms. Kylie trying to do auto tunes, Kim trying to do acting so they can get into different award shows because they knew certain fashion fashion shows weren't seeking out the Kardashians like they used to. The Kardashians love to trend and go viral. I don't know who did this post, but Erica Kirk is saying y'all doing too much. This whole Charlie Kirk situation is very questionable, very questionable. And then here's TMZ stating that Timothy and Kylie are going strong. It don't look like it because was he at her party? He might have sent her a gift. Was he at Chris's party? So it is what it is. I told y'all, Timothy is there to help clean up Kylie's image. Go back and look up. There's a picture of Kanye, Timothy, Pete Davis, and Kid Cudi. So out of those 4 men, most of those men have been with one of the Kardashians. Kanye and Kim, Kim and Pete, and now Timothy with Kylie. So there's that. And you rarely see Timothy with Kylie's kids. You see Travis with the daughter and sometimes the son, but Timothy is there to help clean up Kylie's image. Why does he need to clean up Kylie's image? Kylie dated Tyga at what age? She had the Travis Scott situation. She had the event, and Tory Lanez is now in jail. There's the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, and Travis Kelce situation. So Timothy's there to definitely help clean up Kylie's image. Be careful who you hang around. I've said that. Them Kardashians are in certain situations, and people don't talk about it. And I don't even know if Kylie took the stand in regards to the Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion. I don't even know if she took the stand. She was the one that threw the party. Why didn't Kylie have to take the stand? And then I think Megan Thee Stallion is being questioned. I think there's a lawsuit that's going on. And then they were saying Kylie allegedly lost her phone. What? She was posting that about 3 or 4 months ago? But yeah, Timothy's there to help clean up Kylie's image. Go back and look up. Kylie gave Jordyn Woods a cake calling her the N-word. Kylie has done brown face. Kylie has done a necklace that was concerning. Kylie's something else. Them Kardashians something else. Then y'all wonder why I don't really care for her. And then Kim and the Balenci situation. Remember that ad? Some people probably don't know. Go look at the ad from Balenci from 2 or 3 years ago. And certain celebrities still support Balenci. So if you see certain celebrities still wearing Balenci, then you know that you need to side-eye them. Yeah. Go look up the Balenci ad from 2 or 3 years ago. And if you see certain celebrities still wearing that, then you know you need to question their integrity. Real talk. Real talk. Kim's still on the blame game. It's basically being reported that Kim used ChatGPT to help her with regards to the bar exam. But she had said previously she was using chat and it was giving her wrong answers. So why would you use that for your bar exam? Real talk.
You guys know that all of the psychics that we have met with and that we're obsessed with are all full of shit. They all collectively, maybe 4 of them, have told me. Just letting you guys know that all of the psychics that we have met with and that we're obsessed with are all full of shit. They all collectively, maybe 4 of them, have told me. Just letting you guys know that
she was going to pass the bar exam. Go study. Stop using chat. Stop using psychics. Go study, girl. So last month she was blaming Kanye for health issues. Then this month she's blaming ChatGPT that she failed. And now she's blaming psychics that she failed. Girl, please stop. Please stop. Is Kim okay? Please stop. Take accountability. Stop using chat. Stop using psychics. Constant narratives that's put out there. Girl, please. Okay, let me see. Trump administration considering introducing. Okay, this is another thing. I did see this today. He talked about a 15-year car loan. So he talked 15-year car loan and 50-year mortgage. Who wants a 15-year car loan? Is he just doing stuff to be doing stuff? My goodness. Like the videos y'all come in.
PayPal might turn OpenAI into the next Amazon. Starting in 2026, those with the PayPal will be able.
Certain stuff I'll put out, but I don't want to put out false information. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? Trump remains tariffs devised funds will be used to reduce national debt. He's saying it's going to be reused to national. This is the biggest thing. Will people get the $2,000 check? Let me know. Do y'all think y'all gonna get that $2,000 check this month or next month? It's being alleged. He put it out there that he's supposed to give out a $2,000 check, and then there was allegations that they're talking about. Oh, it could be tax time that you might see that you get a bonus, you get tax cuts. Y'all be careful. He putting out a lot of information. I can't confirm or deny if he's that big, but they're saying this is what he was as a Laker. And this is what he's gained weight since being in Dallas. You better believe LeBron was making sure those guys were healthy in LA. So there's that. See how that picture has him more pumped up than this one? So I can't confirm or deny if he's gained weight. So like I said, the Kardashians love the trend and go viral. You better believe around the holiday season they're gonna try and make sure they find a place where they can donate so they can trend about that too. You better believe they're going to find a place where they can donate and they're going to post that for media attention, clicks, and views. Many people have called Kanye out. Many people have called Kim out in regards to North and the family situation. Many people want them to stop putting the kids in the media. Many people, certain celebrities do put their kids in the media, but not to trend and go viral. A lot of videos y'all come in. Like the videos y'all come in. Was there anything else I want to talk about? Yeah, they're talking about Coco. She let the daughter latch on till she was 6. There's certain words I can't say. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Oh, that's not a real picture. Erica Kirk has been trending a lot. So once again, the Kardashians want to trend about this party. Some people say that they are out of touch, throwing a lavish party when some people are struggling, but they don't care. They want to trend. They want to trend. They want to trend. And look how Kim is. Kim wants to shoulder behind. Oh, let's see. I don't think there was. Did y'all please hit subscribe? Okay, so y'all know Steph's wife trended last month because she was talking about she didn't want to get married. She didn't want to have children. You think her children won't see that? And like I told y'all, a friend of mine dated somebody that looked very similar to Steph. And she had issues. So this woman has done several interviews and it looks as if she doesn't seem happy. Why would you trend and say you don't want to have kids and you want to get married? Why is she seeking media attention? So well wishes to Steph. Well wishes to Steph. Because I don't know why a wife. And Steph is one of the best basketball players. One of. There's many. But he is amazing when it comes to golf and basketball. So why would she get on a whole podcast telling something that negative. I don't know what's going on with her, but my friend would have loved to trade places with her. Let me see what it's saying. Candy Bars to be honored. Candy and the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Look at how she was doing certain things with. You can't put something in the person's undergarment and have people buzzing your undergarment. These reality shows are very toxic. It's not strengthening families. These women love to trend, go viral. You Bravo loves if you got police issues, you got marital issues, you got friends issues. These celebrity shows are very toxic. And that's why I don't even cover it. If I have to cover it, it has to be a situation of me covering it. That was when they were cool, partying. I think that was all I wanted to cover. I think that was all I wanted to cover. I got to be careful though. But yeah, she utilized that dress, and it was very similar to what Hallie wore. Very similar to what Hallie wore. So what are they saying? I don't know if they're saying anything. TMZ. Have you noticed TMZ will post certain pictures of Kim on their thumbnails to get people in to listen, and then they may say something, a few sentences, just to get people to click on it. TMZ is doing clickbait. So there's that. Okay, there's about 258 in the building. Have y'all hit subscribe? Let me go check it. There's about 258. We're doing hot topics, trending topics. If 258 people hit subscribe, that'll be an amazing day for me. Oh, now y'all want to exit? Y'all done gathered the tea. Now y'all want to exit? Please hit subscribe, you guys. Please hit subscribe. Let's get the likes up. Please hit the like button as well. Please hit the like button as well. But yeah, the Kardashians love to trend and go viral. I don't know why they allegedly deleted the pictures. It might have been because they don't want them trending over them, being Meghan and Harry team asked them to remove it. Kardashians will look for something to trend and go viral over. They will. They will. What would they trend and go viral about next week? I'm sure they've already sat down and talked about that. Okay, so copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is used permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. Have a great evening. Have a great day. Be blessed. I appreciate everyone for tuning in. Let's get the likes up. There's about 133 in the building. Can I get 50 people to double tap that screen to get the like up? Double tap that screen to get the like up. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like this channel. I appreciate y'all. We talk hot topics, trending topics, and I'll debunk stuff if I hear about it. I don't have to be first to post something. I go live in the morning, and then I'll post my shorts at night around 7, 8, 9, or 10, depending on. But I post my shorts at night. But yeah, I appreciate y'all being here, and I hope a lot of people have hit subscribe. We're definitely trying to hit 50K by next month, so please hit subscribe. Please hit subscribe and turn on your notification. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We talk hot topics, trending topics, and we talk about what's going on in the news because people will want to see 5 years from now, 6 years from now, what was being talked about. You know, there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of information put out there, and we cover it. So we talk hot topics, trending topics, and we talk about the news. I started covering it in regards to the news and Donald Trump because there was a lot of distraction things going on. There was a lot of misinformation going on, and we cover it, and we try and straighten it up over here. So thanks for being here, everyone. I've been live for an hour, 48 minutes. Once again, I was talking about doing 45 minutes, and I did an hour 45, hour 48. So thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you. What do y'all think? Do you guys think that people will get the $2,000, or is that a lie? Do you think that he'll give air traffic controllers $10,000, or do you think that's a lie as well? Let me know in the comments. Also, let me know in the comments if your groceries have gone up. Meat, bread, coffee, things that you use on a daily basis. Have those things gone up? And has it forced you to go to like the dollar stores to grab certain things just to get by? Let me know how it's affected you. Gas has gone down a little bit at certain gas stations, but certain gas stations are still high, but other gas stations are a little bit lower. But let me know if your groceries have gone up. if some of your bills have gone up, you know. So thanks for being here. Have a great day, everyone. Be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed. Have a great day. Let me know in the comments how you feel about your grocery bills. Do you have to shop at different stores now because your grocery stores are high, whether that's Walmart, Myers? Are prices going up? And what has gone up that you normally purchase every week or every other week or once or twice a month? What has gone up? Has your paper towel gone up? Has your tissue gone up? Let me know in the comments what has gone up. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me see. But yeah, those Kardashians love to trend and go viral. And Kim was getting backlash about how North was being portrayed in the media. So then, of course, if Kim's getting backlash, then Kylie has to trend. If Kim is getting backlash, then Chloe has to speak up. If Kim is getting backlash, then they shade Kourtney in the media. Watch how they treat Kourtney. Kourtney's the only girl that's married, and they love bringing drama to Kourtney. Love it. Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Have a great day. Be blessed. Goodbye.